terrible. Oh my gosh. She was like,
she was big.
yes.
Right.
It was.
Because when you create your own hell,
yeah, I was just about to say before we like digress any further.
I ain't a family that's, you know, prays together, stay together type thing. It's like, you know, if you have that mindset. Also, what is the madness about again?
The madness of a zombie.
They love you until you say no. And then no, all of a sudden they start to change, and then you actually see their true colors, and it's a powerful thing because it exposes them at the same time. 1, 2, 3. Hey everyone, and we're back again on another episode of Dropping Gems 252. Today we are going to be diving into the powerful topic of the word no. You might be thinking, why is this so important? But, well, I really wanted to tell you it's important because the word no can be a big game changer in your life. If you only just actually took a step and put yourself in the position to even say the word no.
Yeah, and you know, saying yes a lot of times can lead to a lot of opportunities, but sometimes like you have to say no, like because you're protecting yourself, but also giving yourself the chance to focus on what truly matters.
Yeah, because you know you got to remember it is okay to say no to the things that do not align to your goals or your values.
Facts.
It's about prioritizing your needs and your time and your energy and the resources. So the next time you're faced with decisions,
Don't be afraid to use the power of the word no, for real.
I'm just going to let y'all know from that point on, the power of the word no. We're going to give y'all some examples. How easy and how hard it can be to say it, because for me, I've been learning how to step out of being a people pleaser, because a lot of us realize that we've been if you haven't realized, like I know me growing up, I was groomed up to be a people pleaser as a child, and then it kind of seeped into my adult life, and me being unaware of my people pleasing needs and certain things that I was unaware of, wounds that I had going on within myself that I'm still constantly working on to this day, that the power of the word no is a game changer for real, like I said in the beginning.
Facts, like it be stuff happening with people. When you're naturally a giver, people tend to recognize that and start to try to take advantage. And a lot of times it's the people you love that are close to you, and they'll constantly call on you and pull on your heartstrings, knowing that you're gonna be like, all right, I got you, or all right, I'm coming, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, they kind of feel entitled.
Yeah, and then sometimes like that'll leave you drained. They get what they want and be able to take care of whatever it is they need to take care of, but that leaves you drained. Your time and your energy is gone. I know from personal experience. You know what I'm saying? Like all too well. You know what I mean? Like just people constantly calling me, asking me for things. Like, don't get me wrong, I love to help people. I love to be there for people, but sometimes I need like my own time, my own space, just to get my mind right and recharge and, you know, regulate my energy.
Yeah, where you know you don't have to take it personal. You know it takes time to get to know yourself when you start to isolate yourself. You know, and you get away from certain energies that are trying to project on you to try to kind of unknowingly, unaware, kind of like being aware of their what I say toxic ways, because they're only focused on their what they want versus what is actually happening around and seeing the bigger picture of what's happening off of that one.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like
People have no consideration for what
Yeah.
they got going on.
they don't care about, how you feel about the situation. They don't care about anything but just how they feel about it. And that's usually someone that's less empathetic about the situation. Like they don't know how to really empathize with you because they're so
Yeah,
selfish in what they want out of what they can get out of you, and not realizing how much it can affect the person they're asking or trying to
Right.
get to do.
It's like what you're going through doesn't even register to them, as long as they're getting what they're after.
Like
You know
what
what I'm
if how it affects them. To them it's like I'm getting something out of it, but they're not seeing the effect it has on you and how
Right.
you have to move what they are trying to expect out of you when you don't say no.
And it's
You know.
and it's crazy because a lot of times, sometimes it be people you don't really want to say no to, because it's
And be your family,
your family,
your
and
friends,
like people that's real close to you, and you be like, damn, like you're constantly. It's like they don't give you. Sometimes people don't give you a break, but they know you need a break,
that part.
and that be the wild shit. That be the wild stuff about it.
And it's funny because people love you until they don't.
Right.
You say yes all day, and then they love the fact that you're a yes man, or yes man, yes woman, whatever it is. They love you until you say no, and then no, all of a sudden they start to change, and then you actually see their true colors, and it's a powerful thing because it exposes them at the same time. Because if you really cared about the person's well-being or how they actually are, in general, if you were genuine about what you wanted out of them, you wouldn't take it personal by them saying no, because you would have respect for their boundaries and the things that they are feeling at the time.
Right.
It's not about yours. It's not about you at the time. It's about how they feel and how, their feelings are valid too. You have to sympathize and empathize with the person, but if you're only being selfish and being more egotistical, where it's like, I'm not worried about how you feel, that's why the people like us have to learn how to maneuver around people like them who
Right.
don't care about that. So
it's sometimes like I tell somebody no, just to see how they gonna respond, and if they show me like their true self, then I know how to treat them from now on, how to carry them from now on. Like if you get upset by me telling you no because I got something going on or I just can't do it, then I already know how to treat you. Then I already know you don't care nothing about me. Or what, you know what I'm saying? You have no consideration for anything I got going on.
exactly.
So I know how to treat you from now on. You're only using me for what you can get out of me.
Yeah, you start realizing you're a taker because you see this is a give and take situation, and yeah, we're all in this world and we're all going to be used at some point, but you're not going to be used and abused and not appreciated and think I'm going to just freely give you my time and energy when you're not even giving me what I give you.
Right.
Once I check that and see what it is, I'm going to go ahead and make moves, like you said. And sometimes you find yourself, for me, I've had to heal a lot of inner wounds within myself. And like I said earlier about the people pleasing, I had things that made me feel like if I didn't, say yes, then this will happen or this will happen. And those were coming from a deeper wound within my own self where I felt like, if I don't, I can't, I won't have this, or they'll think I had a lot of judgment, I was afraid of the judgment that came from it. But over time, I had to realize that, rejection is protection. And I'm still learning even now that, saying no doesn't always have to me say no. It's just me setting the boundary as well.
Right.
Like, I can set a boundary, and then if I say don't cross it, and you cross it.
Yeah, see, those people that don't respect your boundaries, that lets you know right there that those people aren't for you. They're for themselves. They're for themselves all the way. So every time there's an option for them to consider you, they're not. Anytime the opportunity presents itself for them to consider you, they're not going to consider you. So those are people you don't need to be around in the first place, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I had to separate myself from a lot of those people because I was finding myself drained all the time, just tired all the time because I'm ripping and running for everybody but myself. And I started saying no, and my phone stopped ringing. Got a lot more peaceful. A lot of people just fell off. Yeah, I mean,
kind of fell off like leaves on the season, because I'll be
right.
like, some people come for a lifetime, and some people come for a season, and at the end of the day, I'm grateful for any and all experience, because I learned from those who try to take, because I learned how to set more boundaries for myself to stay away or keep a certain mindset and boundary with people who act like that or who give off those type of qualities. And I'm learning how to find the when I see what I don't like, I will stay right then and there and say no, because I've already experienced what it's like when I don't say no. Like, saying no is really powerful. I mean, it's to the point where people are in this world because there are a lot of people in this world that feel like they have control. And to be honest, do we really even have control out of the things that we're doing right now?
Nah. The only thing you can control is yourself in any situation.
Yep. And when someone comes into your life and their goal is to try to control you, and that could be anybody, that could be your family, that could be your mother, that could be your father, that could be anybody that you've been in relations with that want to feel like they need to do things to try to control you, whether it's emotionally, physically, spiritually, mentally. There are things and certain tactics that people try to use against you to try to make things go in their way, to make things happen for their benefit. And if you continuously do things that are for their favor, or doing things that better for the betterment of others, you'll continuously be lacking, drained, and missing out on. You won't necessarily be missing out, but I'll say delayed from a lot of opportunities that was really meant for you.
Right, because you gotta. In some situations, a lot of situations, you need to put yourself first, and that's what saying no does a lot of times. Like, it puts you first. Like, if you don't feel like doing something, it's okay to say no. If you want to go somewhere, say no. Sometimes that might be protecting you. You ever been out somewhere and, was supposed to be out somewhere, and you decided not to go, and then you hear about something crazy happening out there?
Okay, because you trusted your intuition more than allowing someone to try to project them what they wanted for you to do. Instead, you listened to what you wanted, and you listened to the only thing and only person that you can control is yourself. Yes, you can hear all the outside advice. You can hear everybody say, hey, let's go. Hey, I think you should go. Or hell, what about even going to the party and saying, I think I'm about to go. Why do you leave? I need you to stay. No, I said I will leave at this time. No, I'm trusting myself. No, you're not going to convince me to stay. No, you're not going to do. No, 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 no. You stay and your power rises even more, because then you know that you can't allow people around you, no matter where you go, to bribe you. Because as much as it weighs on you and you feel that's just the empathy, the empathetic party. That's you being able to empathize with the fact that, yes, you feel bad, but it's not about you, it's about me, and transmuting that into your way of doing, hey, it's not personal, okay? It's about me and what I'm doing that's best for me.
Right.
Majority of the time, people don't realize, like, yeah, people move. Some people move in to try to make it personal. But really, majority of people are moving because it's not really personal for you. I'm just trying to get my way into wherever I want. And yes, you may not see that as manipulative, but we can. So we're going to figure out a way to get around that by setting boundaries and saying no, because you don't know that that's not good. You may not see it as that.
And saying no really starts to train people. And I know that word is a little tough, but it teaches people. Teaches people how to approach you.
Mm-hmm.
Like they know they can't come at you with certain things. Well, I know they're gonna say no to that, or I know he's gonna say no to that. So I ain't even gonna ask him. I ain't even gonna like. It starts to people when you start saying no and setting those boundaries. People start to learn how they can approach you, what they can approach you with, and when they can approach you.
Yeah, because
It sets clear boundaries.
I've been through things where I didn't realize I couldn't even really get mad at folks for certain things that they were doing to try to manipulate me to getting things because of the simple fact that I wasn't saying no. And I said to myself, I mean, yes, you would assume that people would try to do things the right way, but really they see an opening, they see an opportunity with you, and they feel like
opportunities.
Yes, exactly. And they feel like they have a opportunity to make their move because they feel like you're naive and you don't see what's going on. But in reality, you're just sensitive and you just realize that you just hope that people are the best like you are. But in reality, the truth is they're not. Majority of people are not what you think they are because we want to have what we want, but at the same time, it's not about that. So, saying no to those type of people is something that is a must in order for you to ever rise to the top in your life because they're only going to be taking. The more you say it, but I almost got off track. But I almost forgot what I said. I know for a fact that I've had a lot of opportunities type people in my life through my friends, and when I assumed a lot of people that I would be cool with had genuine, feelings to try to befriend me, I realized that no, it was the fact that I was a giver. I was giving, and a lot of people were taking. And at the time, I was trying to figure out why is so many people taking from me? Why? Not realizing that
it's because you give.
I was giving, and it's like you give one thing, yes, and you attach yourself to their problems. Like I had problems, I had to learn how to detach, and now that I'm into a point in my life where I've learned the art of detachment now, and I'm still learning, it is getting better and better. The fact that I had no detachments, I had more attachments going on. I had a lot of people taking, and I had to get to a point where I had nothing. And when I had nothing and there was no one and nobody to be there when it was there, I had to go back and recollect on what I had going on, who I was with, what I was surrounded, what was I accepting, what was I doing that was causing these issues and causing these things to happen, And I realized my heart had me being around individuals trying to help them be better than where they are. Like I accepted them for who they are, but at the same time, if a snake is a snake, you can't expect it to be anything other than a snake.
And like when people show you who they are, believe them.
Yes.
Like I had to learn that the hard way. You know what I'm saying? But people, when they show you who they are, believe them. And
believe them the first time.
And it was something else I was gonna say. I forgot.
Even when I say believe them the first time, sometimes they can come at you the first time with something. Believe them and believe you the first time you feel whatever it is you feel. Don't trust the overthinking. The first thought is usually the right thought.
Right.
So that is something that we all can say that we've all been there where we go, I heard that, but what about this? Like that sounds a little better. That go ego. That bit ego. Ego is always at war with ourselves. Like ego be like, but last time when we said yes, they praised us. Yeah. They gave us this. They did all these nice things for us if we said yes.
Yeah,
but
that'd be that false dopamine. That'd be
that control, that manipulation.
Right.
Gaslighting, or love bombing and stuff like that, Just
look how I got them dancing for me.
Yes.
Time.
And then it'd be funny because even when you think you're winning against someone when you're being manipulative, you're not ever winning because you never really were genuinely thinking, you're never really getting what you think you're getting because in the end you realize it was a joke and the other person will have the last laugh because
You know what helped me do that? I stopped offering solutions to people's problems. Like I had certain people that would come to me with
that's
their
a
issues
really I'm
'cause they
learning right
knew-
now when you said that.
because they knew I would. Well, let's sit down and fix this. Let's solve this. Let's figure this out. Like, because they know that's just how I want to help you. You know what I mean? But I had to learn that you can't help everybody, and some people are just being manipulative, like you said. Like, oh, you know me, you know how I am, so you're gonna approach me with this because you know I'm gonna help you. You know, solve the problem. I'm gonna offer a solution.
And you be funny while you say that. People really be studying you in the background, just watching you and seeing how you are for the,
Right.
you know, plotting on you and thinking that you don't realize it. Because one thing for sure, two things for certain, we know, but we just pretend we don't know because we hate to know what we know. One thing about being being discerning and learning how to say no, and when you actually step into that arena of saying no to the people that don't want to hear it, you realize that the people you thought was on your team really ain't on your team.
Right.
They be out here scheming, plotting, and be like, damn, I can't get that person to say yes no more. And now I can't have them around because that yes, now they're seeing who I really am as a person because I needed their yeses so I can continue to take from them. And they're no longer giving because they're saying no. And that's not making me look good anymore. They're setting boundaries. Now I'm looking like I don't have control anymore. Now I can't say what I'm saying about them because.
Yeah. And those be the ones that start to fall off because they can't figure out how to manipulate and control you anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like you saying no and setting clear boundaries and putting yourself first, they lose all their power, all their control over you, and so to speak. So and now
then there's the smear campaign after.
Yeah.
They want to go and talk to the family. They want to go talk to their friends. They want to go and say, well, now they want to gaslight you as if your no shouldn't be no.
And it's only because they can't use you anymore.
Right. And then they
that's
go.
It. Right.
And then you see the people that actually agree with them is the ones who wanted to disagree with them in the first place. Like, agree with that type of, they didn't like you in the first place or something that they wanted to dislike about you. They wanted that. They needed something to really hang on to and go, oh, I don't like them now. Oh, they did that. No, I'm really going to like them, not like them now. But in reality, on the two sides of the coin, some people are making, that's what that was. Some people are making decisions on the opposite end where they're assuming that this is that because of what they've heard. And assumption is making you an ass of yourself. Because, the first thing in the assumption is ass.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to either get some ass or you're going to look like an ass at the same time. But at the same time, when you're assuming with all three, you get some ass and you assume, and your assumptions will get your ass out. So, anything that has to do with ass.
Don't assume anything.
Okay.
If you don't know for yourself, personally, but people will use that and try to turn, like, just because you told them no and stood on business and stood in your power with them, they will try to recruit and get others to turn against you.
Now.
Because they can't use you anymore.
They'll
so now
triangulate you.
Turn people against you and get them on
their side. Make it hate and then start having you in a triangulation between you, your siblings, your family members, your friends.
So now you look like the bad guy.
Yeah, you become the villain in their story because you said no. And
that's when the test is the hardest. That's when you gotta double down and not give a fuck.
Yeah. And let me tell you something. It's not easy sometimes to not give a fuck because when you actually when you actually say no to the people you would expect them to actually go, you know what, I understand why you would say no. It's been a long day or this is this or that. I sympathize with that, so I'm not going to force or push, I'm going to let you do that versus, what do you mean no? You mean, well, how about doing, what about, well, I said no. No.
Right.
No. I can't. Well, no, I can't. No, I realized no, because I realized a lot of me when I hesitate to say no, it brings me anxiety. It brings up emotions that I need to let out, and because if I don't say no, I'll start to get overly emotional. I'm a water sign, I'm a Scorpio, so I might even cry, but my tears are not of sadness. They're of anger. They're of frustration. They're of anxiety because of me not being able to speak when I need to speak. And I had to be put through multiple tests where I had to reflect on reasons why things happened the way they happened because of me not setting my boundaries, because of me not saying no, because of me being overly friendly or overly, being overly active in my ways.
Yeah, and that'll have you end up in some wild situations, like,
Mm-hmm.
or end up like I was, tired all the time, drained, not being able to do anything I wanted to do for myself, like
Yes.
focusing on my own projects and own creations and things like that because I'm saying yes over here, yes over there, yes over here. I'm doing this for this person and that person and the next person, and even some of the own stuff that I was putting together myself because I let other people be a part of it because I wanted them to be a part of something.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said yes in that way, like yes, sure, come on.
Right.
But then trying to pull them along because they're not as passionate or as
they don't have the drive like you do.
Have as much drive about it into
what
we're doing. I end up putting more energy into them, into actually what I'm supposed to be focused on, which is my own project.
You become the bus.
Right.
You start carrying people.
I'm carrying everybody along.
And you should be. No, we a moving truck. We got bags and packages to keep going. We moving. We making moves and deliveries.
Right.
That's my goal. Like I'm not.
I had to drop a few people off. Here's your stop. Here's your stop.
It's so funny. It came to the point where I manifested in my life where when I came to the point where I had to cut everybody off that was no good for me because me saying no was also saying no to them, saying no to their ways, saying no to their toxic ways, saying no to how they want to live, saying no to how they want to go about things. And it's okay because it's not a hate thing. It's this is your life and this is mine, and our lives no longer align with each other no more. Right. So I can't really say, hey, you're this or you're that. But to me, in my world and your world, we just can't be in the same, we can't be in the same vortex because you're here and I'm there. And it's just how it has to be. Because, when you elevate and you start setting your boundaries, and not everybody can do these things that you do. And you find out not everybody can really do this.
Not everybody even wants to.
And yeah, that part too. That want to, when you think everybody wants to, and then you realize they really don't.
Yeah, a lot of people are just content and comfortable where they are. You know what I'm saying? And if they're not actively trying to do anything, then and you are, that's going to drag you down because you need that type of energy around you to keep your own, you know what I'm saying? So you can keep going.
Yeah, because, misery needs company, and they love your company because they love what you have, but they don't have it within themselves. So they try to hang on to you and try to drag you down, try to be like crabs in a barrel. And I hate to say it like that, but a lot of people are, and they're unconsciously moving in ways where they're trying to hook onto you and put their hooks in you where they can, just get fished on out of there because you're gonna be out there, you doing the work, you doing what you need to do to get to where you're going, and they just want to try to hook on and energetically, physically, somehow, shape, or form be connected to you so that they can get a little bit of whatever it is that you got without doing the work.
Trying to get that trickle down.
Yeah, trying to have a way or a domino effect like, oh, if I'm here, then it must be happening there. The only way it will happen to you is if you do the things that I did to do what you to get there. Like I'm only here to do what I need to do.
People see the from the outside looking in. They see the glitz, the glamour, or what they think is glitz and glamour anyway.
They don't know the work. Like
they don't know the work you put in. Like
they don't know the emotional damage that you had to overcome.
Right.
As from a child on up.
They don't know the sacrifice you made, the people you had to lose,
the wounds you had to heal,
right?
The shadow work you had to do. The inner work was the hardest part. Is because when you do the inner work, that's when you really dig deep and you find reasons why your actions that you like the patterns or the toxic patterns that you catch yourself in or doing, the decisions that you make, you find yourself going, oh, I make decisions because this is a neglect wound, oh, this is an abandonment wound, this is wounds that I didn't know I had until it had to come up in this matter. And sometimes experience is the best teacher.
Right.
So, when you're learning about yourself, every single time you say no, you get Mario points. You get more coins in your game. It's like level up because, you say no not for the benefit of not trying to be selfish or rude. You say no to keep yourself protecting your energy, your space, your resources. Like once again,
right. You gotta look out. You gotta take care of yourself at the end of the day. Nobody's going to take care of you like you take care of you.
Mm-hmm.
So anytime that you're like, when you're overexerting yourself and doing too much for a lot of people, and especially people who don't have your best interests at heart, or who are not doing the same for you, like reciprocating the energy.
Yeah.
Pouring back into your cup. Yes. When you start telling those people no, they start falling off, and you'll start doing better.
Because remember, there are a lot of people who come to you, like I said in the previous episode about going up to. Damn, I done forgot what I was about to say. The camera made me forget. Dang, I done forgot what I was about to say. What did you say though before? I forgot. Dang. Anyways, I know there are a lot of people that make me go, that had me realizing that no was the only way, saying no was the only way that I could actually see the truth and see the colors in people, because I noticed that me being from, the story of my life, which I'll tell you guys one day about, led me to discover these type of wounds, and I had to discover how to, be true to myself. Like I realized I had so many masks that I had put on for people just by not saying no to them, and created this mask that they always want me to be, but realizing that, yeah, you guys want, you and I have a mask on right now. My mask is only to protect me because I feel like I have wounds that I'm not aware of. You know what I mean?
Right.
Versus your mask is, I'm hiding the fact that I know you got wounds, and I'm trying to manipulate you, and you already know that. Once you see that for yourself, you see that both people have masks. You take your mask off by setting your boundaries, and they take their mask off by not liking the fact that you set your boundaries. And then we both get to go on about our lives, because now both of us have no choice, because we can both see that, now you have no choice because I don't show you my true colors. So if you stay, you stay. If you don't, you don't. So then that's when you become the master of your own power. You go, okay, I no longer am going to let this person, dictate what it is that I need or dictate what I want or anything. I'm going to say no for my benefit. I'm going to say no to help me move forward.
You got to start. Yeah, you got to most definitely listen to you and dictate and set the rules and boundaries for your own life. And that way you're always moving and stepping in your power. You're not being controlled or manipulated because you set the rules and boundaries for your own life. And anybody that's not respecting that, you don't need them around you.
Mm-hmm.
And y'all gotta forgive me for a second. The camera.
What about it? Oh.
Yeah.
No, you were fine.
It bothered me. Like, that's,
Oh, I was going to take care of that.
Yeah, I already know.
I wasn't worried about it, because I already know how you do. As soon as you did it, I said, but I didn't say anything. I just let it happen.
Yeah. It just,
But back to the game, like I was saying, y'all, say no.
Yeah.
Just say no.
Just say no.
Say no to your mama. Say no to your daddy. Say no to your brother, your sister, your cousin, your auntie, your uncle, your child.
Try it for a week.
Just keep saying no. I'm telling you,
Try
if you
for a
want,
week
only if your feeling of no is in you first. Like, don't say no to be petty.
I promise you, it's liberating.
Because listen, your one thing I listen. My nose may not it would be a lot worse if I literally was just like no. So because I'm a caring person, sometimes people who don't understand the no, I just have to show you better than I can tell you when I mean no. Because if my voice is not voicing enough for you, my action will follow. So when I mean no, meaning my my boundaries are gonna go even more, or the wall's gonna go up, and you no longer have a way to get to me because you don't know how to understand. You don't understand the word no, and some people don't like the word no. So you have to learn how to protect yourself and your energy, and overall just your surroundings, because you could be just minding your business, and someone could be wanting something from you, and they're a stranger, and you say no, and then all of a sudden you're somewhere where you don't want to be, or that's why it's a way to say no, and you have to learn it's not always no, because
you don't have to be rude.
It's a way to approach that
when you say no, or like you said, you don't have to be petty.
My way.
You could just say no, and if it's someone that doesn't immediately understand why you're saying no, you don't really have to explain yourself to anyone, but that just depends on how much you care about that person. And you can be like, well, look, I'm saying no because I got this going on, or I'm doing this. And if they care about you in the same way, or whatever, they'll understand.
It's more of I'm not obligated to explain to you, but because I care about you, I want you to know in details why this no, because there are certain, when you have an open communication and you have that line of communication open where you can say those things, because there are certain things that there are certain things that people need to help keep the relationship or communication healthy.
Right.
Because of these situations that we're speaking of now, wounds come up and things coming, and it still is, healing is a lifelong journey. And in wounds, when you get cut, you still have a scar, but you'll never forget how you got cut. So sometimes the wound may not be open, but there could be, side effects of you having to remember, hey, I'm not there, but yet, I do that because of that happened, but I'm still moving forward, and I need you to know, in order for you to be with me, these are the needs that I need to be met, so that we can have a healthy relationship, with those type of things, because you don't want to be married to any man that's not going to like when you say no, because no means he's not in his power. No means he's not the man of this house. We don't want no misogynistic man, no narcissistic man, or anybody that's narcissistic in your family that wants to try to control you by you saying no. Because if you say no as an adult to someone that's in your family and they don't like it, you might need to set some distance between them too.
Right, and on the other side of that coin, vice versa. Like, you don't want your wife, or when you tell her no, to give you all types of attitude and don't understand why you're telling her no.
Yeah, you got to have a communication.
Yeah, open line of communication is the healthiest thing for any relationship, in my opinion. Even with your family, with your friends, just open communication, like being clear and
yeah, because that assumption is really
right.
Is once again, it's not healthy, and sometimes it can be hard to express those feelings to certain people, because saying no not only means that whatever they had planned isn't going to work. Your no could trickle down to 1,000 other plans that other people have for you.
Right.
So you got to realize, like, some people really be out here just trying to drain and take, and this word no is becoming more and more empowering for me now.
I'm telling you, it's liberating.
Yes, I'm telling you, because I've recently, my no can be silence, my no can be blocking, my no can be just disappear. Now you see me, now you don't, because that's just the type of energy I embody, because I can show you more than I can tell you.
Right.
You know, because what they say, actions speak louder than words
Most
anyways.
definitely.
Shoot. And I know a lot of people do a lot of talking, and yes, we have ways where we fall short of ourselves sometimes, but we still get back and we get back on that path because we know we all fall down.
Right.
You know, Kanye West.
That's what it's about. Like, you're gonna fall.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna fall, but how many times are you gonna get up?
Even on a roller coaster ride, you have fun, but you have those drops that make you, you know, but
drops
you
take
still,
your breath, but
mm-hmm.
you go back up.
And you get to enjoy the ride as you're going through those certain emotions that you have.
Right.
So
that's what it's about. Like, you're gonna fall, but get up, keep going, keep pushing, keep your goals in mind, and keep moving forward. And remember when and to say no along the way. That way, and a lot of times saying no will keep you from getting distracted. Things you don't need to be a part of or need to be dealing with because it doesn't align with what you have going on. It doesn't align with your goals that you set for yourself.
Yeah, because saying no helps you prioritize your needs, and it helps you prioritize the things that you need to accomplish. Because if you have a goal and you have a mission, know there's going to be a lot of distractions.
Right.
The moment you say you're going to do something, here comes the devil, here comes the dark forces trying to come and fight against you without you thinking that you don't know that it's coming, because we all know that there are things happening behind the scenes that we aren't aware of, but the goal is to make sure you stay focused and fight through it, because your willpower is way stronger than someone else's imagine a delusion of control over you, you know, because they can only control you if you give it to them. So by you saying no, you take your power back. You stand in your power. You saying no, you take your power back from all the yeses that you gave. You're like, yeah, I gave you all the yeses, but that one no took all that shit back. Because at the end of the day, you showed your true colors when that first no was said.
Right.
When that first no was said, or that first, and hey, it doesn't even have to be a no. It could be it is a form of no. It's just saying, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
Or I don't want to do that. Or, hey, you want to do that? Why don't you want to do that? And then they try to convince you, or then they try to, you know, convince you to try to do what it is that you want. And you're like, I don't really want to do that.
I'm not feeling it.
Oh, well, you're lame now because you don't want to go out and you don't want to. No, I'm not. I'm just, now you're projecting onto me because now.
It'd be crazy when I tell cats, like, no, I don't want to go out. I don't want to get drunk. That's not what I'm doing.
I don't want to shake my ass no more.
Damn, bro, you don't drink? Damn, bro, you don't even come through and rock with me no more. I mean, I could, but if...
But what do you serve? What purpose are we serving?
If we was doing something other than drinking and smoking.
I need to make some money. I need to make some shakes. I need to be inspiring, you know, making a change in this world, not feeling stuck because I constantly want to go and do something that's not making me no money, ain't making me no progress. That's
how I like to chill these days. I like to chill making money or building something or working on something that could potentially put money in my pocket.
Exactly. Right. And let me speak about dreams, goals. At least I know I'm doing something that's productive. Hell, if I'm doing something I like, let it be something that is helping me transmute, helping me ground myself. Right. Like how I color, how I draw. You know, I do a lot of drawing. You know, I do things that are resonating with me and my alignment that keeps me at peace. You know, because peace is very valuable. And if you want peace in your life, saying no is going to get you there faster than saying yes.
Right. That's why when I go into the studio, I might turn my phone off or put it on silent. I'm not answering my phone. And I'm saying no to whoever's calling me, because what I'm doing now is for me. It's me being creative and me releasing is my therapy. Basically. You know, me making music, that's my therapy and way of creating and putting my art out for the world and expressing myself. So I need that time for myself.
And you know, I realize that a lot of people who got talent need that alone time. Majority of the time, we need our peace, and our peace requires our boundaries to be set within ourselves.
Because it keeps the creative juices flowing.
Yeah, and a lot of people,
you don't have that, you feel less creative. You don't create.
Mm-hmm. And the power of no helps you keep yourself away from people who try to destiny swap with you, who try to siphon off of you, who try to throw black magic at you, You know, because there are things that are on the other side, spiritual note of things, that there could be people trying to attach themselves to you or try to send things towards you because they don't like the fact that you say no. Now they want to go behind the scenes and try to gossip and do work on you, or try to make you out to be the bad guy. They want to cause a smear campaign. They want to try to ruin your reputation just because of your no. Your one no made them go and go, oh my God, this is the one person I wanted to have control over. No, now I want to destroy them like an evil villain.
Right.
Meanwhile, you just live your life not caring because you're authentically moving in ways that you can't be used to try to, you know, abuse you. Because it's like, oh, this person is, yeah. People can run their mouth about
business. I'm standing on business. I'm standing in my power. I'm doing what I need to do for myself and the ones I'm responsible for.
Exactly. I'm taking care of business, and that's all that matters. Your opinion of me is not my opinion of myself.
Fact.
How you feel about me is not how I feel about myself.
And it's not going to dictate how I move.
Exactly.
And how I, you know what I'm saying, how I operate.
Now, the only way it's going to make me move is how to move better, faster, or whatever way, because it's only going to make me move better. It's never going to make me move sideways or move what they say, you know, down low. I ain't got to do no slick shit to try to move any kind of way.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, I don't have to do that.
It's not going to dictate no way how I move in any form of fashion.
Because at the end of the day, it only affects who you are as a person. Right. Like, your boundaries and how you move and how you respond to things helps you show them who you really are. Because they act like they don't want to see it, they don't want to believe it. Like I said, you're going to have to show them better than you can tell them.
Yeah, because people be wanting to put you in a box, or how they feel like you should be.
Like a toy.
Right. People want you to conform to what they think you should be, how they think you should be, and react the way they want you to react. And when you don't do that, you don't fit their box, their program, it fucks with their system. And then they don't know how to react or respond.
Yeah, so I'm telling y'all, it's like we real life living Toy Story in this bitch.
Right.
Because the ones who really be out there doing it, you know, being the main character in their story, motherfuckers like the toys that are in the Toy Story want to be the ones that's the main characters too. Like, you got the dogs, you got the woman that's got the legs and the hook on there. You got people like that that's trying to hook on to you. They want to hook on to Woody and Buzz Lightyear because we the main characters in the story. They're only there because they want to be relevant because they're in that environment. But they can be themselves, like, just by them being authentically themselves in their story, by being the Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head. They didn't have to steal the spotlight because they chose to be Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head. Yeah. They weren't trying to be like somebody else, you know?
They created their own
and that's
by being themselves.
Yeah.
You create your own universe by being yourself.
Yeah, because, you know,
one verse.
You become the person you're meant to be. Once again, you know, it's like I thought about, you know, when I said no, I was like, man, people really be putting, when you said people be putting you in a box, I was like, damn, they sure do. And then when they put you in a box and you rip out what I've been acting brand new. Yeah. Rip me out the plastic, I've been acting brand new. Like, that's really how they be feeling, like, how the fuck this? Then you become Chucky, because I'll be like, you want to play Halloween? I was Chucky. Because I have that personality. It's like, you see me in this nice, calm demeanor. You see me as naive and gullible in your own perception because you put me in this box because you said, this is my Barbie. This is my person. This is the person that I want to play games with. And this is who I think can play games with. The games can actually, you know, not realizing that it's a whole AI and she's just studying you so that she knows how to, you know, step out and rip you out and become Chucky on your ass. And you don't even know. That's why you don't like dogs. So don't play with me like a dog. And then you won't fuck around and find out. So, you know, that's how I look at reality.
Legit.
So, you know, power of no, y'all. Don't be you won't be so surprised when people be ripping their ass out the plastic and acting brand new because you put their ass in the box.
Man, like that. And that'd be crazy because people be thinking, see, I'm real calm, cool, collected until you start messing with my peace. Like, I don't like not being calm, cool, and collected. Ooh. So don't make me not calm, cool, and collected. Stop. You know what I'm saying?
Yo,
like,
I felt that. Like, when I immediately, when you said, don't, my peace, like, take, Like, I realized that it's so funny because I could be talking to you and then I'll do something that makes you real uncomfortable. Then your piece is like, there's something knocking at your aura. My piece was a little, what was that?
Like, don't disturb my piece.
Yeah, what was that? Like, what was that? And then that's the, something. And what I'm saying by that, because a lot of people can keep that mask up for a long time, and then it starts slipping, and you start seeing that, you start feeling that hate,
right?
And you be like, "Was that hate?" And they was like, "Nah, bro, nah, I want no hate. I'm putting that mask back on."
Right, most definitely.
You ain't feel that. Then they start gaslighting. You like, bro, no, we good, bro. Chill. And that's when you have that confusion. But confusion is of the devil. And I tell you, sometimes I'll be like, my heart be fighting by my intuition, and we be in here like at war. And the intuition be like, but you felt me. And my heart be like, but I feel like, and the brain be like, I'm just here trying to, I'm just controlling the body parts. Y'all really make the emotions, I'm trying to make, the brain's just here. Meanwhile, the heart is like, but what about, and the intuition is saying, fuck, what about,
Right.
Calm, but let me get back.
9 times out of 10, you gotta listen to the intuition.
So with that being said, y'all, don't be, stand your power.
Don't be scared to say no.
Don't be scared to say no. And, you're always going to be tested every day, and saying no, people want to see what you're going to do and how you're going to react. A lot of people don't want to believe that you're going to do what you say you're going to do, or you're going to move how you're going to move. So.
And then they be shocked when you do it.
Okay, so shock these motherfuckers all 2025.
All the time. Every chance you get.
Okay, encourage you to say no. And then just say no and don't say nothing. No expression. No, nothing. Just say.
Yeah, just keep it hot. Keep it hot on everybody.
We were doing the stare contest last night so we can, practice on our facials when we say no to motherfuckers, because that's how serious it is. I'm in the game playing the game because y'all think y'all can play the game with me. I'll show you who can play it better.
All right. No keeps you from being distracted. Don't let these people distract you. Don't let the world distract you, because that's what it's geared to do. Like,
she's a mean one. She's a Grinch.
Alright, so keep it high on everybody.
Okay.
Say no. And
this is my energy all 2025. I mean, if you want to take it there, then we're gonna bring it there.
Alright.
Okay? I just had to let y'all know.
And with that being said, don't forget to like, share, subscribe.
You guys, don't forget, saying no will keep you from being okay. Alright.
That was a game changer.
Alright. Well, with that being said, again, we're going to catch y'all on the next one. Like, share, subscribe, like he said. And thanks for watching.
Remember, be cool, be cool, be you, and be true.
And we'll catch you guys